What I think you should do, if you're going to do it, then you have to go into Epstein's friends. This Reid Hoffman spent a lot of time with.
In a move that shocked Washington, Donald Trump has called on House Republicans to vote in favor of releasing the Jeffrey Epstein files, the very records he once resisted. He claims now that we have nothing to hide, but behind that seemingly transparent message lies a much deeper political gamble. What's driving the shift, and can his party trust him? The U-turn that stunned Washington. Until just recently, Trump strongly opposed demands to open up Epstein-related DOJ files. But on a Sunday evening, he took to his social platform, Truth Social, to urge Republicans to vote for the release. He wrote, "House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files, because we have nothing to hide." He doubled down. This isn't just about transparency.
Stole people that work for me. I said, don't ever do that again. He did it again. And I threw him out of the place, persona non grata.
According to him, it's time to move past what he calls a Democrat hoax and refocus on GOP priorities: economy, inflation, and electoral wins. The reversal wasn't just sudden, it was dramatic and in full public view. Why this turnaround now? So what forced Trump's hand? Several pressures converged. First, bipartisan support for a release vote has grown. A discharge petition, co-led by Republican Thomas Massie and Democrat Ro Khanna, gathered enough backing to force a House vote. Second, internal GOP tension. Some Republicans, including top voices, publicly backed transparency. The burden on Trump was no longer just external. Parts of his own party pressed him to act. Third, the political optics. Epstein was once fringe. Now, the files are front and center. By endorsing the vote, Trump may be attempting to control the narrative, framing the release on his terms rather than letting opponents define it. Trump's message: we have nothing to hide. Trump's messaging is simple but powerful. He insists he's totally clean on Epstein. He argues previous opposition was purely political, a smokescreen fashioned by his detractors. Releasing the files, he says.
You raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think he's got a problem. I mean,
what do you think the problem will be?
I don't know, but that island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask.
Allows him and the GOP to close a chapter and focus on what he calls real issues. He didn't stop there. In his post, he called out Democrats, accusing them of using Epstein as a distraction. He wrote that radical left lunatics want to keep this hoax alive to deflect from Republican achievements. It's a framing strategy, the push for transparency. The bill Trump is backing aims to force the Justice Department to disclose all unclassified Epstein-related files, investigative records, communications, internal reports. Some information would still be redacted to protect victims, but the core demand is sweeping. Supporters argue this could be a historic moment: full public accountability, transparency into Epstein's network, and clarity on high-profile associations. For critics, it's not just about the past, it's about who Epstein was connected to, including powerful people. Republicans split, base watches closely, but it's not a smooth path. Not all Republicans are thrilled with Trump's reversal. Figures like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who once insisted on releasing the files, clashed with Trump publicly after the shift. Their split is more than personality.
That rich, powerful people should be protected if they have done anything wrong.
It's political theater, but with real stakes. And the congressional math? Supporters believe a majority of Republicans, possibly 100 or more, are now ready to back the vote. That's big. But the Senate remains a wild card, and even if the measure passes, Trump must sign it into law for real impact survivors and advocates push back. Epstein survivors are keeping the heat on. Their message is clear: full transparency, not partial disclosure. Many of them joined forces with lawmakers pushing for the vote, demanding that documents, even if redacted, be made public so the world can see Epstein's web more clearly. Their advocacy is not just symbolic. By appearing in joint press events with congressional supporters, they're applying moral pressure. For survivors, this isn't a political game, it's personal. The demand for justice, in their view, outweighs any partisan calculation. Trump's media. Move, control the narrative. Trump is playing media chess by calling for a vote. He shifts the story. From resistance to support, from hiding to releasing. He frames himself as a strong leader, willing to face tough questions on his own terms. But he's also signaling a warning. Transparency is valuable, but only when it's done his way. In stating we have nothing to hide, he tries to reset the Epstein narrative, making it about clearing his name, not conceding power.
Marjorie Trader Grin, I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her.
Meanwhile, he accuses Democrats of weaponizing Epstein, turning disclosure into political theater. GOP fault lines revealed. This isn't just about Trump, it's exposing deep divisions within the Republican Party. Some Republicans have long demanded Epstein file release. Others worry that a full release could expose powerful allies or bog down the party in scandal. Speaker Mike Johnson, a key figure in this fight, has publicly expressed support for releasing the files, and implying the discharge petition is politically motivated. This internal tension reflects a party grappling with its identity and its future. What this means for Trump's legacy. If Trump follows through and backs a transparent vote and the files are released, it could be a major moment in his political narrative. He'd be seen not just as a provocateur, but as someone who faced scrutiny. That could reshape parts of his legacy, especially among voters who believed Epstein questions needed answers. Broader implications for democracy. This moment touches on something bigger than Trump or Epstein. It raises urgent questions. How much should the public demand accountability? When is transparency sincere? And when is it political theater? If the Epstein files become fully public, it could set a new standard for investigations into elite wrongdoing. But if the release is symbolic, with too much redaction, it could also deepen cynicism about political transparency. The White House response, strategy, or damage control. The Biden White House isn't letting this moment pass quietly. Officials have subtly framed Trump's sudden call for transparency as a reactive move, suggesting he's being outmaneuvered by bipartisan momentum. Behind closed doors, insiders say the administration is monitoring the vote closely because a full release of files could implicate powerful figures. The White House publicly supports transparency when handled responsibly. Democrats seize the moment.
They're using Jeffrey Epstein as a deflection from the tremendous success that we're having as a party.
Democrats aren't holding back. Many see Trump's U-turn as an opportunity to highlight contradictions in his leadership. Figures like Ro Khanna, who helped champion the discharge petition, have framed this as a victory for transparency and bipartisan cooperation. They argue that if Trump now supports releasing Epstein files, he should also back broader federal reforms on sex trafficking, victim protection, and investigative transparency. Essentially, they're challenging him to turn rhetoric into real policy. What this could uncover, the national impact. If the files are released, even in partially redacted form, they could reshape discussions about elite networks, political influence, and institutional cover-ups. Lawmakers across both parties privately admit that the names and connections within the files could shake public trust, not just in one party, but across media, academia, and politics. This is why so many power players are nervous. Transparency sounds noble. If you found this story eye-opening and important, make sure to hit like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more up-to-the-minute breakdowns of power, politics, and controversy. And tell me in the comments, do you believe Trump really wants to show what's behind Epstein's files? Or is this just another political play? Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and always demand the truth.